Yo, what's up, guys? It's 3 a.m., you're scrolling through YouTube, and I'm about to tell you the entire history of humanity in 12 minutes. And before you... Okay, so first, the Big Bang, right? Basically, everything was nothing. Then God or science or whoever was like, nah, let's make everything. And there was this massive explosion of angry orange air, and boom, universe. Just like that. All the planets just floating around being planets, you know? Mercury, Venus, Earth, which is literally just a blue rock. And honestly, bro, I think Earth was mid until the dinosaurs showed up. So dinosaurs, right? Dinosaurs. These were like the original Chads of Earth. Massive reptiles just stomping around, no taxes, no responsibilities. Sounds pretty chill. Until one day, there's literally a space rock heading at the planet like God pressed the delete button. And it's coming in hot. The dinosaurs are like, yo, what is that? And splat. Extinction event. They're gone. Completely deleted from existence.
So dinosaurs are out. Earth is charred. It's like the worst day ever. But then, and this is where Kevin comes in, some tiny little fish in the ocean is like, you know what? I'm going to grow legs. This is Kevin. Kevin the fish. And Kevin just decides, with no permission, to become the first amphibian. He crawls out of the ocean, looks at the land, and he's all, yeah, I can do this. And that's when everything went wrong, bro. Kevin turns into other stuff. More fish evolve. Then some of those things become reptiles. Those reptiles become mammals. Those mammals start thinking they're smart. And here we are, millions of years later, and it's all Kevin's fault. Kevin the fish looked at the ocean and said, this ain't it, chief, and now we have taxes. And you might be thinking, bro, but what about the apes? Okay, valid question. So apparently, and I'm still processing this, we came from apes. Not directly, but like we're cousins or whatever. Evolution is wild. We just gradually got less hairy, our brains got bigger, and we were like, let's make tools. Here's what they won't tell you. Apes didn't evolve into humans. Humans evolved into apes. We were first, and the apes were like, okay, I guess I'll just stay here and chill. Textbooks got it backwards.
So we got tools. We got fire, which is just angry orange air that burns stuff. Fire was huge, bro. Everything changed when we invented angry orange air. Now we could cook food, now we could see at night, now we could burn things for fun. Pretty much the foundation of civilization right there. And for like thousands of years, that's where we stayed. Hanging out, making fire, throwing spears at animals, living that hunter-gatherer lifestyle. It was chill. No rush, no Amazon delivery dates to worry about, just vibe. Then someone was like, yo, what if we planted food instead of hunting it? Boom! Agriculture. Civilization is born. Now we gotta stay in one place, now we gotta work, now we got problems. We got property disputes, we got surplus, we got social hierarchy. So basically, Kevin the fish looks down from fish heaven, assuming he goes to heaven, which I doubt, and he's laughing. I tried to warn him, he's thinking. Legs were a mistake. All right, so now humans are settled. We're growing food. We're not constantly moving. And obviously, some humans are like, you know what? I should be in charge of other humans. Egypt, baby. The Egyptians were obsessed, and I mean obsessed with triangles. Like, it's actually insane. I don't know what the deal was. Maybe triangles were just fire back then. They built these massive pyramid things to bury their dead. They're dead, bro. They put so much effort into pyramids that I guarantee you some Egyptian is looking at another Egyptian like, hey, shouldn't we be doing something about, like, the actual living people? And the pharaoh's just like, no. Triangle, bigger. The reason Egyptians invented mummies is because they got tired of their friends dying. So they were like, what if we just kept them? Preservation was invented out of pure stubbornness. They also invented writing, which is crazy. Someone was like, what if we made pictures of sounds? Genius. Absolute galaxy brain move. Now we can write down all the boring stuff pharaohs did.
Then over in Rome, there's this guy named Caesar. You know Caesar? And I'm going to tell you something that nobody talks about. Caesar is named after salad. Think about it. Caesar salad. That's literally a salad named after a guy named after salad. It's a salad loop, bro. It's self-referential. He probably didn't invent the salad. Somebody else definitely did. But his name got so famous, they were like, yeah, let's just call this salad Caesar. Imagine your legacy is a leafy vegetable. But yeah, Romans were cool. They had roads. They had concrete, which is just liquid rocks that hardened. And they had this thing called the Senate, where they would literally argue for hours about nothing. Democracy. Beautiful. It's basically what Twitter is now, but in person and with less blocking.
Then Rome got too big, too proud, and eventually it just fell apart. Kind of like when you're playing a video game and you get lazy and just let everything go to chaos. Rome didn't fall because of war or economics. Rome fell because they forgot to pay the electric bill. The whole empire was powered by one really big light bulb that they just forgot to recharge. They had an invoice and everything. So Rome's done. Europe's a mess. And that's when we enter the worst era of human history. This is what I call the Muddy Ages. Your textbook probably calls it the Middle Ages or the medieval period, but that's boring. These times were muddy. Everything was mud. Mud roads, mud houses, mud clothing, mud thoughts. People were living rough, bro. We're talking feudalism. We're talking lords and peasants. Basically, some guy named Lord Brad, who did nothing special except be born rich, gets to own a castle and a bunch of land and a bunch of people. And all the peasants are like, cool, I guess I'll just farm this guy's land until I die. That's the entire system. That's it. That's feudalism. Generational poverty speed run. Medieval people were also really into warfare, like really into it. They'd build castles, which are just houses for paranoid people, and then spend their entire lives defending them or attacking them. And the armor? Bro, the armor was insane. Full metal suits. You're sweating inside a metal coffin, and you're supposed to be intimidating? The worst part is if you fell off your horse, you literally could not get up. You're just laying there like a turtle. Then there was the whole divine right of kings thing where they convinced everyone that God made them the kings. Just straight up told people, God said I'm in charge, and people believed it. No fact-checking, no sources, just vibes and fear. Eventually, people got tired of this. They were like, actually, can we maybe have a say? And that's basically what the Renaissance and Enlightenment was. Someone finally opened a book and was like, yo, we've been doing this wrong. The Renaissance happened because someone spilled wine on a history book and realized they'd been reading the same book upside down for 200 years. They flipped it over and were like, oh, this changes things. Thus, the rebirth of civilization. And now we get to the good stuff, the modern era. I call this the rectangle age because everything is rectangles. Your phone, rectangle. Your laptop, rectangle. Your TV, rectangle. Your existence, rectangle. It all started with the Industrial Revolution. Someone was like, what if we made machines do the work? And suddenly factories appeared, and children were working in those factories, which is not great. But hey, progress. We invented trains, long metal rectangles that go really fast. We invented cars, small metal rectangles that go medium speed. We invented planes, big metal rectangles that somehow fly. Everything moved so fast after that. We went from like mud and horse travel to electricity in like 100 years. That's insane. People were just vibing in the 1800s like, electricity sounds fake. And then by 1920, everyone's got lights in their house. Then we had wars, big ones, little ones, wars everywhere. We invented better weapons, we invented worse weapons, we invented nuclear weapons, which are basically, we can destroy the entire planet weapons. Cool. Nuclear weapons were invented by accident. A scientist was trying to make the ultimate sandwich heating device, and it just spiraled. He was like, this is not what I wanted. To this day, that scientist regrets his sandwich dreams. Then the internet happened. And bro, the internet? Someone was like, what if we connected all the computers? And nobody could have predicted that this would lead to memes, cats, arguing with strangers, YouTube, thank you, and TikTok dances. We went from no information to too much information in like 30 years. Now your grandma knows what you had for lunch because you posted it. Progress. And that brings us to now. We're living in the rectangle age. Everything is a screen. Everyone's depressed, but like, in a fun way. We can order food from our phone and have it show up. We invented electricity and we're using it to watch cats fall off things. The reason we invented social media is because someone felt lonely one day and invented Facebook. Then everyone felt lonely together. It's actually beautiful if you think about it. So, okay, full circle moment. Let me break down what we learned. Kevin the fish tried to warn us. He was just trying to enjoy the ocean, but no, he had to grow legs. He had to start something. Humans crawled out of the mud, invented triangles, named salads after famous people, argued about forks, fought for no reason, and now we're just scrolling through our life on our phones.
And here's the thing, if you watch this whole video and you're still here, you're part of the problem. You're part of the rectangle age. You're giving algorithmic energy to a dude explaining history at 3 a.m. with zero sources. So do the responsible thing. Don't just watch this. Subscribe, comment, tell your friends that big history's a lie. Share this before the government takes it down. And if you want more unhinged takes on literally everything else, hit that subscribe button before big history finds out you exist. Bro, this is literally your fault. You're the one that watched. Now you're complicit. Thanks for the watch time. Tell your parents I said hi. And remember, don't trust your textbook. Trust me, a guy who makes stuff up. Peace.